Hey there, this is Sarah with the Notorious needle, and this is another Flosstube. So normally I like to do these live, but today I have a very special responsibility. So I am going to try to record this in one shot and get it out to you ASAP because I need to go to my grandparents' house and help them for a big move. I'm very excited. They're going to be living much closer to me. So not sure how happy my husband is about that. Just kidding, he doesn't mind. But I'm going to look forward to having them so nearby. So before I start packing boxes, I just want to let you know what's been going on with the Notorious needle. I have been stitching like a fiend, finishing up, I'll give you a little sneak peek here, finishing up the We Believe Stitch Along. Part 1 was released on February 19th, and part 2 was released on March 5th. So part 1 was We Believe in beautiful orange and burnt orange letters. With the entire mosaic border, and you have the choice between a cross stitch border or a back stitch border. I chose to stitch the sample in with the back stitch border because the back stitch border has these tiny, it says We Believe in tiny letters, and I thought that was really cool. And then part 2 is Kindness is Everything. And it's done in these beautiful lilac colors with flowers and some swirly vines. A little more backstitch, but if you hate the backstitch, you can skip it and it still looks really pretty. So I am done stitching the sample, and I can't wait to put it together and take pictures of the whole thing so that I can finish the releases. And I don't have to like crop the pictures with just the part, you know, I can have the whole thing and then just blur out the parts that haven't been released yet. So it'll look all nice and pretty. It's very colorful. I'm really enjoying it. I hope you are too. It's not too late to get in on the stitch along. It's going to be running there's 10 releases, and each release is 2 weeks apart, and the last one is scheduled for June 25th. So the stitch along will run until July 9th. And yeah, so you can join us. We'll all be stitching, and I'm sure there will be folks still stitching after July 9th, and that's perfectly fine. One of the cool things about a stitch along is that, you know, you can go at your own pace. You don't have to rush. Just me, I have to rush. But you don't have to worry about that. So I have a list of things I want to bring up today on the Flosstube, try and get this all done in one shot so I can run it through the editor, make sure the audio is okay for you, and then post it. Oh, so if you haven't seen it yet, I think it was last week, there's a new tutorial on the Notorious Needle website, and this one is all about cross-stitch supplies. There's also a corresponding YouTube video, and I will put the link below. The tutorial has the video in it, so you can get them both in one place. And I just go over the basics of the tools. If you're new to cross stitch, what do you actually need without spending a ton of money on a bunch of supplies you may never use, what you need to get started, and then if you want to try out some of those other fun things, you can try those out later. And I'll probably do another tutorial about some of the other fun tchotchkes you can have for cross stitch. Some may argue that they're absolutely necessary, but like for me, I stitch in hand. I don't usually stitch in a hoop unless I'm doing a demonstration and I have the hoop clamped to my desk so that it doesn't move around while I'm recording for you. Other than that, I usually stitch in hand. So for me, a hoop isn't necessary. But I threw that one in there anyways. There's a whole bunch more there. So again, I'll put the links down below for you. I am still working on a comparison and contrast of different brands of metallic threads. I've started test stitching them here. So I'll be doing a review of each one, pros and cons, and which one I like best. That one, it's probably another few weeks in coming, but I wanted to ask you, so far I've got sulky, Krennic, and DMC metallic threads, and I wanted to ask you if there's any metallic brands of metallic threads that I should try in comparison with the others that either you swear by or you've always wanted to try but you didn't want to spend the money on it. Let me do that for you. I will pick up a sample and throw it in there and stitch it up and see how it goes. So let me know what other brands. Like I said, I have Silky, Krennic, and DMC already trying them out, and I'm curious to see what other brands of threads you would like me to try so I can compare them for you. Oh, the next thing is, so I've been trying to speed up my website, and last night it was down for about 30 minutes. That was user error. That was me, but I tested it and it's between 8 and 13% faster. I don't know if you care. This is Flosstube. I just want to make sure that you have the best experience on the Notorious needle so you can get to what you want quickly without hassle. So anyway, just in case you were on there last night, just wanted to let you know why it was down for excuse me, why it was down for about 30 minutes. Yeah, I was tinkering in there, but it worked. Ultimately, it worked. So I don't know if you'll notice an 8 to 13% improvement, but that's just the beginning, and there will be improvements to follow. However, I will be able to do them, now that I've made this change, I will be able to do them in a way that I won't have to mess with the live site, and I can do it on a dev site. So no need to worry about that. Oh, I already started working on a new collection. I don't know how much I should tell you about it. I've really just designed only the first pattern. More funny, snarky stuff. But again, I'm trying to keep things positive. I feel like we need more camaraderie, and we need to come together more. We need to listen to each other a little more. Now, I'm not talking about listening to people who are saying things that deny another person's humanity, for instance. No, none of that here. But I do want to have more positive messages, less negative messages. Don't worry, it's not all frou-frou. It's not even a little bit frou-frou. It's just silly stuff, and I'm already working on it. I'm really excited. But I was curious, like, what kind of color palettes you might like to see. I usually do very bright colors. I was thinking of maybe throwing in like a pastel palette. This collection probably won't be released in time for spring. I'm thinking it'll be more summer, closer to when the stitch along ends, so maybe May or June time frame. So I don't know if the pastel color palettes will fit then, but I usually do very bright, sort of in-your-face colors. Words with small motifs usually, and didn't know if you liked like like I prefer jewel tones, like deep reds and blues and greens, but maybe you like something fiery like yellows and oranges, or relaxing like soft blues and purples. I can throw all of those in there. So I was just curious, what kind of colors do you like to see in your cross stitch? Does it vary widely? Does it depend on the piece? Or do you find that you're definitely drawn towards a particular color palette? I know I'm drawn to this soft blue. Oh, this is all scraped up. I've had this forever. This like teal blue color, so it tends to feature in a number of my patterns. But just curious what you would like. I'm already working on this new collection. It's very silly, but very like, I hate to use the word whimsy. I feel like that's overused. Anyways, so I'll share more about it as I develop it. So normally when I do these floss tubes, I like to do them live, and a stitch with me scenario, and I'm stitching up this Dragonfly Fairie with metallic threads, and that's what made me think of doing the metallic thread comparisons. I haven't worked on it at all in a whole month, so I will be working on that for next time. Here's a little sample. I think it's called a triptych, where it's 3 pieces in one. So the centerpiece is the fairy, and then the 2 sides sort of frame the centerpiece, and this is one of the sides.